Okay, so I'd like to wish everybody a wonderful good morning, and it's just gone 6:30 in the morning here in sunny Lancashire. Well, I say sunny, the sun's rising, but there's still quite a bit of late spring frost on the roof of buildings as I walk down this alleyway. And today I'm going for a mooch down to the woods, and I'm going to make myself a little fire and get brew and breakfast on and chill out, relax a little bit, and think about a few things that are coming up. So yeah, really looking forward to this. I've not been out for a bit, and we'll catch up with you when I get to the Woodlands in a short while. And here we are, after a short walk down a few back alleyways. We're at the subway that goes under the A666, and then on the other side of this subway is where the Woodlands begin. So I'm just going to cut through here, and then the noise should start subsiding a little bit. Bit surreal going through here. It's sort of a division from civilization on one side to the rawness of nature on the other side, as you'll see. So we're through the subway, and here's where the woods begins. And there's lots of mist rising up from the river there. It's still quite early in the morning. And whenever I come down here, I always stop at this bit and just to take a few seconds and look down at the woods. Got the traffic's intensifying in the background as people make their way to work. But it still doesn't take anything away from this beautiful view. So onwards, and let's go and find a nice patch to make a fire and a brew. And we're halfway down the path, but I thought I'd just stop for a second and show you the secret coppice. Well, it's not that secret because a few other people know about it, but I'm going to be taking some straight lengths from here. And it's going to have to be very soon as well because the sap's rising, probably the next couple of days. But I'll be taking, like I say, a few straight lengths for jobs that I need in the garden. And it's been well coppiced, this, as you can see from all the different shoots popping up from the base. Right, so let's carry on and let's find a nice little spot to sit down and chill out. Okay, so we're down in the woods now, and just cutting through to find an area that's a little bit more sunlit, because a lot of the sort of older twigs have dried out. This doesn't get a great deal of sun, as you can see. As lovely as it is, you can see with all the growths on the trees. So it's quite a shaded bit of the woods. And just look at this root system here. This tree's still hanging on, and it will be getting as much of its energy as possible from the canopy when the sun starts moving across the sky during spring and summer. So here we are, moving towards the sunshine, and thankfully we've lost a lot of the thrum of the traffic, which is always a good thing. Very noisy. And oh, look at this wonderful tree here. Absolutely amazing. And however often I go to the woods, into the countryside, into mountains or wherever, I'm always in awe of nature, always. Every little bit of it's different, every time you're out, and every little bit of it is absolutely beautiful. So let's move over into the sunlight a little bit and find a little spot to sit down. And there's quite a bit of dew here, so I might end up not making my fire here, but who cares when you've got a view like that at 6:45 in the morning. Absolutely amazing. Just look at that. And there's the, I don't know if you can make out, there's a fishery below. And in this stretch of woods there is actually half a dozen deer, but they're quite rare and shy creatures to see. I've seen them on 3 occasions over the years where I've been lucky enough to just be in the area where they've been. Right, so without further ado, let's get a fire made. So I've decided to make a brew where there's colossal trees fallen down in the recent storms, and it's safe to do so. It's fallen right down, and there's no winds about whatsoever today. And just look at the damage where the tree's split into 2, or rather it's split into more than 2. There's another large piece on the other side of the tree. It runs all the way along and ends there. And basically I've decided to make a brew here because the tree, the fallen tree, is something for me to sit on and relax. Right, so we've got the fire going easy enough with the old ferro rod, so let's get a brew on. There we go. Usually doesn't take long on this little 10 quid stove. Right, well, that didn't take long to get brewed together. And I just want to chat today a little bit about the up and coming resource crisis, in particular about food. Now, because of the way our stupid civilization works, everything's connected together but in the wrong way. So if energy goes down in one country, loads of other countries suffer because food's grown thousands of miles away nowadays. And there's lots of reasons lately. I mean, there's always been lots of reasons in the last 50 years for people to grow their own food, but in particular we have changes to customs. As you leave the UK, there's lorries queuing, there's more paperwork with us leaving the EU, and more paperwork translates into queues, which, using the old adage, time is money. On top of this, there's been general rises in fuel. Before the crisis in Ukraine, we started seeing the price of petrol creeping up, and since then, the price of petrol and gas is constantly on the rise. Now, both of these fossil fuels are used in the production of food. They're used to move food about, and they're also used to, I mean, gas, for instance, is used to heat greenhouses up. And I read yesterday that with the continuing price rises in gas, this is likely to stop the production of a lot of greenhouse foods in the UK. As a gardener and food grower and permaculture practitioner myself, I find this absolutely absurd. I can grow peppers, aubergines, chilies, gherkins, cucumber without the aid of using gas in a 50 quid polytunnel that I bought from a cheap shop in town. So if I can do it, surely everybody else can do it. And as harsh as this sounds, don't for a minute think that once food starts going up in prices that the government are going to intervene and suddenly make food affordable for everybody. That's not how capitalist economics works. It doesn't work like that. It'll carry on going up in price. So what I'm suggesting is that we grow as much of our own food as possible at home. Now, for obvious reasons, in the UK, most people don't have access to any sort of great swathes of land. You're not going to be able to be self-sufficient. But you are going to be able to grow really sort of nutritionally dense food that's of good quality, that's organic, that's cleanly grown. And even if you've not got a lot of space, I mean, I lived in a flat a couple of decades ago where I had quite large windowsills, and I grew tomatoes, chilies and peppers all the way through the summer, and there was that many of them I was able to, you know, turn some of them into meals and freeze them for the next year. So there's always something that you can grow. I'd be careful about growing a lot of crops like onions. I think onions are fairly easy to get hold of, they're not expensive. Grow food that's dense in nutrients, that's good for you. And sorry that I had to sort of get onto this grim subject as Putin's war and the destruction of the Ukraine continues, but it's still spring now in the UK. It's early spring, so get out there, get some compost, get growing some food, and grow yourself some well-being, because things are going to get a lot worse. And I'm not a prepper, by the way. I've been advocating this thing for decades now, of people growing and providing their own resources. This comes from my interest in permaculture, in creating resilient communities and sustainability. It's nothing to do with prepping. So yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to get on with my brew, then I'm going to have a bowl of porridge, and I'd like to wish everybody a fruitful, healthy and happy day. Check you soon. Right, so that's me, all brewed and breakfasted and packed away. And as per usual, there's no signs whatsoever that I've been here. And got quite a busy day today. I've got a meeting in about 2 hours that I don't particularly want to be at, but you have to turn up at these things when you have to. And then for the rest of the afternoon, I'm going to be cutting firewood for the wood burner at home, which of course saves us from being so reliant on fossil fuels. And I'm going to continue sowing seeds and converting the garden further into a bigger food growing place for this year, to ensure we've got enough nutrition. So I'm going to walk back now. And I noticed on my way down to these woods that the last remnants of scarlet elf cups are knocking about. You can see them there, they're beginning to fade away, but they're dotted about like a precarious blanket all across this woodland floor. There's another one. Tiny little things they are. Right, so let's make our way out. Oh look, there's more of them. Slightly bigger one there. And as I always say in these woodland walk videos, if you've got a woodland or a wild place that's close to you, do use it and utilise it. Especially if you're stressed out, a bit depressed, struggling with head and brain issues, or even if you feel like it's getting a bit sort of stuffy in your house, if you've not been out for a while, just get out. You'll feel a lot better when you've spent a bit of time walking around this beauty and splendour, and when you've sat down and spent a bit of time gathering your thoughts, or in many cases not thinking at all, which is a great thing for human beings to do, because we do tend to overthink things sometimes. And this woodland as I may have mentioned before in some of my older videos, it's about a 12 to 15 minute walk away from where I live. It's in quite a built up urban area, but it doesn't matter, you know, it's a nice walk out in the morning, and then when you get here, it's absolutely stunning. There's another wood further around the corner, about another 5 minutes down, and I feel blessed to have these beautiful places that I'm able to come to, and this is why I use them an awful lot. It's getting a bit boggy here, so we're going to take a bit of a detour around. I don't want to end up with wet feet too early on in the day. Not that I mind having wet feet, but it's quite cold. So we're going past this partially uprooted tree again that we walked past on the way in. There's another one, another large one uprooted over there. Also, no doubt, brought down during the recent extreme weather that we had. And oh look, more scarlet elf caps. Quite a little family of them there. Little beauties they are. Scarlet elf cups, I think they're called, not caps. Do correct me, my old mate Colin, if you're watching this, if I've got the name of them wrong. There's some more there. And one thing I have noticed about me woodland mooches this year is the nettles are fairly late coming up. I did spot some tiny nettles on the way into this woods, because one of my seasonal rituals is to make a little fire somewhere and to make a pot of nettle tea. Nettles are full of nutrients, full of vitamins, and probably one of the most nutrient dense foods in the West. And they can be used for all sorts of things, not just teas. You can make curry with them, you can use them in casseroles and stews, and they're a great resource, and they're absolutely bloody everywhere. You can also make quite a good plant food with nettles as well. So we've got a dog walker there up on the path. So we're nearly done now, and this has set me up to get on with the rest of my day. So thanks for watching so far, and please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to build the channel up as much as I can, and I'll see you in the next video soon.